Just a quick peek at the standings to start the episode. See the Dodgers at the bottom of the American League, the White Sox down there, no surprise. There, the Reds. I believe the Reds were a playoff team last year. They're very strong in this universe. The Padres struggling at 36 and 51. The Rockies back up near 500 from their current real life malaise. The Brewers we saw struggling before. League leaders Freddie Freeman leading in the NL. Basallo actually winning the batting title currently in the American League. I mean, this offense is leading the league in everything in the world, so it's not surprising we have some league leaders here. Kobe Mayo, third in the American League in home runs with 22. Adley Rutschman, you love to see this. I mean, Adley Rutschman is second in the American League at OPS right now. It's kind of crazy that he has enough plate appearances to qualify. I guess he does. He definitely hasn't played in every game. He is still getting catcher playing time, not playing like I'd say 5 out of 6 games, 4 out of 5. Jackson Holiday with 4 batter war. We don't have any pitching leaders, no surprise there, but you can see them there. DeGrom leading in strikeouts. Crochet with 11 wins already. Stat doesn't really matter though. Tariq Skubal leading in pitcher war. Marte leading in NL batting war. Pitching war leader in the NL is Yamamoto, who has a whole war beneath Skubal. Skubal and Crochet and Hunter Brown, man, these AL pitchers are on another level from the NL this year. Clark Schmidt on the Mets, leading the league in earned run average. I just have a weird feeling that could happen in real life. That's a very weirdly, I feel like that could actually happen in real life. I'm saying that as a Yankee fan too. I feel like the Mets, Clark Schmidt is the kind of guy who would go to the Mets and just have like one disgusting season for no reason. And that is happening right now. 2025 MLB champion with the New York Yankees, Clark Schmidt, who then I would assume signed a free agent deal with the Mets. We're going to start simulating here. We're still doing very well. Hopefully we keep racking up success. Well, I was taking a look at Kyle Tucker here and his spray chart. He's been struggling to hit home runs. And it's interesting. It has him listed as a pull hitter, but you can see here most of his home runs are going to the opposite field. He's a lefty. So he's putting most of his home runs over that very deep left field fence here. And he needs to be pulling the ball to right, and he isn't pulling the ball to right. And once he starts pulling the ball to right, he's going to be dangerous. He just needs to actually pull the ball because it says pull hitter right here, and he's not pulling. So if he would start pulling the ball, I mean, I don't even know how you would stop this offense if he got hot. I mean, he is hot right now. Right now, he's hot. He went 2 for 4, 1 for 5, 1 for 3, 2 for 4. He's hitting. So hopefully he gets even hotter. We're paying him a lot of money. We get 2 or 3 from the Braves on the road, 2 or 3 from the Angels at home, and 2 of 3 from the Reds at home. So it's just a bunch of series in a row. 4 series in a row, we've won 2 of 3. Actually, 3 of 4 against the Blue Jays right here. And it's time for the All-Star teams. Here's our final All-Star voting results. Cal Raleigh having a great year, just like in real life, winning the vote over Adley Rutschman, who's absolutely storming the entire league. Holiday winning the second base vote. Kobe Mayo somehow coming in second with the absolutely crazy season he's having to Jose Ramirez, which Kobe Mayo's got better numbers. I guess Ramirez is just a little more popular and has obviously been an all-star so many years in a row. If he's having a strong year, it's going to be hard to unseat him. Gunnar Henderson in second place in the All-Star voting. It really shows how strong this offense is. We are really up at the top in a lot of these positions here. And Samuel Basallo winning the designated hitter vote with over 3 million votes for a 21-year-old rookie. That's unbelievable. Really putting the league on notice. People really noticing Sam Basallo. Obviously, for him to get 3 million votes, he's only got 13 career Major League home runs. But he is now a one-time All-Star. Let's give it up for Sam Basallo. That's incredible. And Cedric Mullins now on Boston. I believe we traded him to the Tigers. We didn't trade him to Boston. But Boston are winning the division right now. They've got a very dangerous lineup, and they have a Roman Anthony in the minor leagues as well. I was checking before off stream. They didn't. Crazy stuff. They're going to have a loaded offense just like us. It's clearly us and the Red Sox are the number 1 and number 2 offenses in the league. It's just the Red Sox have Garrett Crochet and Tanner Houck here. Um, with just a little more dominant starting pitching than ours. Our starting pitching is great right now, though. I mean, Rodriguez 3.41, Cease 4.02. That can get a little better. Woodruff 3.60. Just knock on wood he stays healthy. And Jared Koenig has been very impressive despite really profiling as a reliever. He's got a 3.99 ERA as a starter, and David Festa has a lot of arm talent. Hopefully, he can pick it up in the second half of the season and have a bit lower of an ERA. But he's not the best. He doesn't have the best mentals. He forgets things. Doesn't seem like quite the best mental picture. Here's the American League. Sorry, rather the National League fan voting. Augustine Ramirez once again up there. Brendan Donovan with almost 3.5 million votes. Freeman and Schwarber stacked first base in the National League, although that's how it really is in real life. Schwarber now on the Brewers. The Brewers. Riley, 3.5 million. Lindor, 3.5 million. Happ. Michael Harris with over 3.5 million votes in center field. And Shohei Ohtani definitely leading things up with 4.3 million votes. I think it. How did Ketel Marte? Wow, Ketel Marte, 71 RBI, man. Ketel Marte, just a run-generating machine. 71 runs batted in for Ketel Marte at a 154 OPS plus. Definitely earned the All-Star nod this year. And here are the All-Star Game rosters. You see Sam Basallo there as a catcher. See Holiday there at 282, Mayo there at 277. Anthony Volpe, Bobby Witt, Evan Carter in center field. Christian Campbell from the Red Sox, Aaron Judge with 26 home runs, low key. Low key 26 home runs. And I pretty much ignored pitching. There you see the pitching up there. Andres Munoz is going to be the closer. A little disappointing we don't have a relief pitcher in there. And there's the National League. Augustine Ramirez, like we talked about. Freddie Freeman hitting 334. Pretty realistic, to be honest with you. Pretty realistic at this point, to be honest with you. Josh Naylor at 318, who we almost signed, ended up with the Mets. We thought about Josh Naylor. Ended up giving that money to Dylan Cease. Which, Josh Naylor may be a little more valuable of a player than Dylan Cease at this point, but Dylan Cease is our number 2 starter, and he hasn't done a horrible job of it. So we still do need starting pitching at the trade deadline, without a doubt. Let's see who wins the All-Star game. Here is the box star for the All-Star game. The American League wins 5-4. And it looked like a bunch of small contributions. Nobody with more than 1 RBI. Let's see if anybody hit home runs. Riley Green and Jock Peterson in the 9th inning with the 2 home runs. Jock Peterson now plying his trade for the Washington Nationals. Nobody got particularly hit around, either up except for Dedniel Nunez of the Colorado Rockies, who gave up 3 runs in his 1 inning of work on a pretty ghastly 29 pitches for an All-Star game. It's probably more than the Rockies wanted to see him throw in an exhibition contest. I'd imagine the Rockies GM is leaving a mean text for whoever managed that game. Don't tell me how to use my guys. I gave you a pitch limit and you didn't stick with it. I'm disappointed. Felix Bautista may need to be removed from the closer role, but I imagine that would make him unhappy. I think that might be a measure we save for the playoffs. But it could be considered a little bit of a problem for us that there doesn't really seem to be a standout relief performer. Our bullpen ERA is getting a little higher. Our pitching is more mid than good at this point, unfortunately, to use a very scientific sabermetric term. All right, guys, so I'm really mad. I just lost about 50 minutes of footage leading up to the trade deadline, but we made some awesome moves, so let's look over them all. First things first, we almost brought in Jorge Mateo to fill the backup infield slot. Well, here, we actually did trade for Jorge Mateo, and this was maybe the most interesting trade of the whole deadline. We made a few really good ones, though. But we fleeced the Brewers here, struggling in last place in the NL Central. They traded us Jorge Mateo. Sorry, they traded us David Bednar, their current closer, who's now our closer, who's taken over from Felix Bautista, who struggled this year, for just for Jorge Mateo, who I don't even remember how we got him. We got Jorge Mateo for Nicky Lopez and Trevor Rogers, right, to try to solve our backup infield spot. And we then realized that Jorge Mateo was a clubhouse cancer and that we could get Ronnie Mauricio. Yeah, we traded Ronnie Mauricio for Eric Haas, who sadly is now a New York Met. This hurts to see. He was an incredibly productive bench player for us, but he really didn't play all that much for his, positive production and positive clubhouse presence. But Ronnie Mauricio also has a positive clubhouse presence. He's 25. He's a switch hitter. He steals bases. He's got a good major league bat, 317 in the minor leagues and 236 with a 90 OPS plus, which is pretty good for a 24-year-old and especially good for a 24-year-old switch hitter in limited major league experience with the Mets last year. And they traded him to us for our third string catcher, which I just figured we just don't need a third string catcher. We've pretty much got the backup position solved here with Vargas, who we almost traded away. We traded away Trey Sweeney instead. It was Vargas or Sweeney, and we ended up staying with Vargas just because he's younger and he just profiles out better as a hitter, even though that obviously hasn't played out yet in real life with the 192 batting average. But Vargas is going to have every chance to succeed on what is a very, very improved team here. And let's keep looking at those improvements that we made. But Ronnie Mauricio was the first of them. Now to the pitching, and the pitching is really what we improved. We were trying to find one lefty, and we definitely found a few here. You see AJ Puck. We still have Andrew Heaney. We still have Jared Koenig. But Steven Matz is the guy we brought into the rotation. And it was just Creed Willems and Luis Vasquez, two sort of average minor league bats, and we were able to bring in a 2.48 lefty Steven Matz here with only 1 year left on the contract. So he's going to help us out for this stretch run. And the really big moves we made here that I've been avoiding talking about, David Bednar for just Jorge Mateo, which we talked about before, an absolute robbery getting us a new closer here for this playoff run. And Nathan Eovaldi, right now listed as the ace of our staff, the biggest prize on the trade block. I figured why not? The Atlanta Braves struggling this year in fourth place in the NL East, and they ate half of the money. So we aren't even paying him. I think we're paying him $12 million this year and $14 million this year. And it just took Trey Sweeney. And Trey Sweeney is a very good player. I like Trey Sweeney a lot. He's good at pretty much everything. And he's a lefty. But we're trying to win a championship right now. And I want 3 good starters. And right now we have 4 and maybe 5. And our rotation just went from being a weakness to a strength. And that's what I spent the last 50 minutes doing before I figured out OBS was frozen the entire time. But what this does allow me to do is make a longer episode basically leading up into the playoffs, because before I was going to have it basically just be one episode to the trade deadline and one episode, the next episode being to the end of the season. Now, this episode is just going to run all the way to the end of the season because I just explained in about 10 minutes what took me 50 minutes to film. So 5-0. Okay, great. Rutschman and Basallo, Encarnacion Strand, Vargas and Basallo at first, Holiday, Mayo, and then Mauricio backs up the middle infield. The infield is Encarnacion Strand, Holiday, Mayo, and Henderson. The outfield is O'Neill, Cowser, and Kyle Tucker. And Yandy Diaz is listed currently as the DH, but we have plenty of guys we can put there, including Basallo, Vargas, Mauricio, even Cowser can probably play there. I wouldn't mind seeing Adley Rutschman in there at times. Jackson Holiday could play DH if you want to move Henderson over to second base or move one to shortstop and give Mauricio a start. There's so many different things we could do with the DH spot beyond just Yandy Diaz, but I don't mind having him here. He's hitting very good. He's a very good veteran clubhouse presence in what should be a very strong clubhouse. The starting rotation, phenomenal. Nathan Eovaldi, Grayson Rodriguez, Dylan Cease, Brandon Woodruff, Steven Matz. David Bednar is going to close. Bautista is going to be the setup man. Brock Stewart or Pete Fairbanks I would probably use right now as a playoff 7th inning guy. Jared Koenig, Andrew Heaney, Keegan Aiken, Gregory Soto, AJ Puck. We have just about a billion ways to deal with dangerous lefties in the postseason. So I'm very confident. I don't expect us to get back in the division race over the heights the Red Sox are at, but we've got a 3-game edge here on a wild card spot, and it would certainly be a disappointment if we weren't able to keep that 3-game lead. We're aiming for much higher things now, especially after last year, and especially with the season that a lot of our players are having, especially Sam Basallo and Grayson Rodriguez. Don't forget about him. I mean, last season our strikeout leader didn't even have 130, and Grayson Rodriguez now before the trade deadline is at 133, and we just added Nathan Eovaldi to this team. If you like strikeouts, how many strikeouts does Eovaldi have this year? 112. So yeah, 120 if you count his first start with us, which was 6 innings and 8 strikeouts in what must have been. Oh no, it was a loss. We lost to the Marlins 2-1. But it was a good first start by Eovaldi.
And we tried really hard to trade for Thomas Suzuki. He was the first guy that we wanted as a lefty, and he ends up going to the Nationals for former top pick Dylan Cruz. This is a really good pickup for the Rockies and Nathaniel Lowe. So a couple of really good players there to Colorado for Thomas Suzuki. That's a very interesting trade. You know, they wanted top level major league talent for Suzuki, which is why we didn't trade him. We weren't willing to trade Colton Cowser for him, essentially. Freddie Peralta and Jordan Montgomery to the Rays, so they're trying to get back in the race, it seems like. Alex Cobb to Cleveland. And other than that, it seems like we were by far the most active team in the whole league at the trade deadline, other than the Rays making those couple of starter trades and this Jake Bowers to the Dodgers trade. See if anything happens on deadline day. But our work is done, and I'm gonna go off screen and work out the minor leagues as we get shut out by the Phillies. I don't want to make this trade at all. Wow, this is a blockbuster. Crazy trade. The Red Sox get rid of a. That's a that's a really good trade for us. This made me want to save the game right now. The Red Sox, who have in real life made a lot of questionable moves in recent years, just got rid of 26-year-old lefty first baseman Tristan Casas, who has a 265 average with 19 home runs, 391 on base percentage, and a good teammate only on $2 million per year at 26 years old, 6'4", 240. Do you want me to keep listing good things about him? Because my goodness, you just gave him up for a 33-year-old starter who is the picture of consistency, but in one of the more low run environments in the league, one of the easier run environments in the league to pitch in Seattle, and now you're putting him in a ballpark in Fenway that is pretty much as close to opposite as you can get outside of Denver or Yankee Stadium or something. I mean, it's a high at the dude. It's Fenway Park. It's a little band shell. And I mean, yeah, that's part of why Tristan Casas has done so well. But Tristan Casas is a great hitter, and he's going to do well in Seattle too. And I'm not sure about Luis Castillo. And the Red Sox aren't exactly hurting for pitching. That's a tough trade to understand. They already had a good rotation. They have an excellent rotation now. But I kind of feel like I made that happen. I kind of feel like I invested a ton in our starting rotation at the deadline, and they got to keep up with the arms race in their own division. Are they really afraid of us? We're 8.5 back, and they're making a move that makes it seem like they're a little afraid of us. Oh, we got to get starting pitching. Their lineup is a lot weaker now, man. They're playing Devers at first. I don't know, Boston. It's another questionable move out of the Red Sox. Real life video games, it doesn't matter. You can enter a simulation and you can't escape the Red Sox front office doing questionable stuff. That is a questionable move. They're still a good team, but that's a questionable move. I'm really not sure about that. You could have just done nothing. We beat Tampa. Beat Tampa again. Low scoring games. Man, I like it. Look at that. Man, I don't think Tampa have the best offense in the league. But 4-1, 2-1, 10-0. 3 games, 27 innings. We give up 2 runs against Tampa. So that's definitely a. If you want to know if the pitching is fixed or not, you might just had your answer. I mean, yeah, they're not the best offense in the world. They're not the best offense in the world. Yasmani Grandal, wow, 37-year-old, the Yasmanian Devil. He's a switch hitter. You gotta love a switch hitter. Switch hitting catchers, man. Yeah, that's one way to have a long career for sure. I love Yasmani Grandal. Who doesn't? I wonder if he's still is he even still in the league? Yasmani Grandal is currently in AAA for the Red Sox in real life. The more you know. We lose to the Mets. This is going to be a big game against the Mets here. Eovaldi versus Taylor McGill. Let's see. And we win at 5-1. Eovaldi. 6 innings, 5 Ks. Bednar and Stewart shut it down. We get to Caleb Ferguson rather than Taylor McGill. Caleb Ferguson gives up 4 runs there in the 8th inning. And we come out with a win. Looks like Christian Encarnacion Strand was responsible for most of the offense off the bench. What a bench bat we have in Christian Encarnacion Strand. Don't mind him being a righty for a second. He is a hitter. A hitter is a hitter. And it looks like Colton Cowser's injury is going to be gone in 3 days as we drop 2 of 3 to a powerful Rangers offense. Now on to play the Astros, who I think are also a pretty good team. Fairbanks picks up a day-to-day injury. Ooh, and we lose the 3rd game to Houston. Took 2 of 3 from Houston, which I'm happy. I'm also very happy about taking 2 of 3 from the Mets at Citi Field. And again, two straight great pitching performances there. 4-0 win over the Mets and 5-1 over the Mets. And then 2 more actually here against Houston at home, 5-0 and 7-1. So our pitching looks excellent. And AJ Puck, unfortunately, we noticed he was fragile when we traded for him. Pitches to a 13 ERA and then gets a season-ending injury. So not a fantastic start to AJ Puck's time in Baltimore. I was singing his praises when we traded for him. He profiles out really well. He's got 5 really great pitches and he's a big dude, 6'7". I remember him being a lot thinner earlier in his career and he obviously bulked up. And he's cheap too, 4.2 million. So I'm a big AJ Puck guy, but he's off the roster. But I was going to say we are kind of letting it slip. We've got a 2.5 game lead on the wild card right now. Understandably, though, the Red Sox traded Tristan Casas and replaced him with 37-year-old washed Anthony Rizzo, and for some reason they're struggling. I really can't figure out why that happened. The Red Sox took out a pump-action shotgun and blew their own kneecap off, and the Yankees are now in half game out of first place. We're 3.5 out, so we're battling for the division lead at this point, but we're also blowing our own wild card lead. This has been a fascinating month. We really have kind of struggled. Look, I mean, we lose 3 in a row to the Twins. We drop 2 or 3 to the Cardinals, who can't be that good. How good are the Cardinals? They're 500. We go on the road and lose 2 or 3 to them. We beat the Rays yesterday, but I think a big part of the problem is that we only have 2 catchers. Rutschman and Basallo are trading playing time, and it could be a lot worse, but you would like to have a 3rd catcher to take up a spot. And it doesn't look like Sam Basallo is starting right now. So I'm just going to force Sam Basallo to be the DH because for the rest of the season, we're going to have a 3rd string catcher on the roster like what Eric Haas used to be. I'm just not sure who that player is going to be. But we have a few choices. It could be Chadwick Trump. It could be a lot of guys. We'll make a selection and bring somebody up. Yeah, Sam Huff is hitting 323 in the minors. He's got good speed. He's a good teammate. He's a good fielder. He's got some power. We're going to call up Sam Huff, and he'll be our 3rd string catcher. Take some of the weight off Basallo, and Basallo is going to go back to hitting cleanup against righties. And hopefully that's a boost to the offense, and we exit our struggles, because I don't know why Basallo hasn't really been getting opportunities. Again, I'm not managing this team. I am just the GM for this playthrough. Maybe in the future I will do a playthrough where I'm the manager. I'm so happy with where the rotation is at right now, though. Unfortunately, coming into these big series, we're a little banged up. Rutschman with the day-to-day with 4 days. It's a good thing we just brought up a catcher. Heaney day-to-day for 5 days. And Henderson, day-to-day, 2 to 3 weeks. You really don't like to see that. There's no real replacement for him. It's just influencing his throwing. But yeah, he's a max effort guy, and that can happen sometimes. You get injuries. Um, look at how much power we have in this lineup, man. So much power all the way up and down the order. And a great bullpen. This is a big series against New York. We're 2 games out of first place. We're a game and a half behind the Yankees. Um, and this is really a big series, essentially because we can lose a lot of wild card position if we lose. I mean, we can obviously improve our position on the Yankees, but long term, who knows how much better we actually are than them, how much better we are than the Red Sox. It's really a 3-team dead heat, especially now that the Red Sox did that to themselves. The Red Sox self-immolated their roster 13 to 1. What a win. I hate that it's only one win. Basallo back in the middle of the order. Didn't hit a dinger. Tucker did. Encarnacion Strand as well. Holiday, 4 RBI. Tucker, 2 for 5. Basallo, 2 for 4, as we said. O'Neill, 1 for 2 with 2 RBI. Encarnacion Strand, 3 for 5. Rutschman, 3 for 4 out of the 9 hole. 302 for Adley Rutschman and Grayson Rodriguez. Untouchable, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts on only 86 pitches, and Koenig and Fairbanks finished what he started as we get to Miles Michaelis pretty much immediately right out of the gate. 13 to 1, completely cooked the Yankees in our own ballpark, and now we're only half a game behind. Can we leapfrog them? Yes, we can. 5-4 win. You got to think there was some fist pumping after that save. Felix Bautista with his 30th of the year. David Bednar getting the big outs there. Who knows who he probably judged. He's one of those on the 0.2 innings, as Rodon only works 3 innings in that game. And now it's Walker Buehler. We're a half game ahead of New York, and now we're back behind them. But we're only a half game behind them to end the series. I do believe we took 3 of 4. Yep, you cannot be mad about that. Taking 3 of 4 from the Yankees. That's a big series win, and we're going right into roster expansion here. After I believe it's called the Beltway series against the Nationals is what it would be called. All right, so we brought up David Festa and Justin Henry Malloy. I think those two decisions speak for themselves. Be interesting to see what Malloy has for us. A 431 on base in AAA. Understandably, he can always take a walk. That is his thing. And David Festa didn't really do bad enough, and it was a stint for us to give up on him. He's still a very talented arm and a valuable guy to have in the bullpen. We'll see if he can maybe convince me to give him a playoff spot if somebody else blows up. Bednar hasn't been super impressive, and Bautista has worked his way back into the closer role. Bednar with a 4.76 ERA since coming over, so hopefully he can improve. But I'm far from worried about the bullpen right now. But great performances out of the bullpen would definitely help here leading up to the playoffs in an extremely tight 3-team race here at the top of the American League East. An 11-0 win over Washington, but Nathan Eovaldi gets a herniated disc in his back. Now, do not get me wrong. If it becomes a nagging injury, and it's a back injury, so it definitely could. If it becomes a nagging injury, this is not the case, but that might be a good thing because he's not going to get injured any later. He's not going to get injured any worse, and we're going to get him back easily in time for the playoffs. And Rosani Contreras can come back in. It's not the best development. You don't want your ace to get injured, but he's not going to get injured right before the playoffs. I'm not going to have to curse during my video. I'm not going to have to. I'm not going to have to bleep anything out when he gets injured for 7 months on the last day of the season, right? Because how can he get injured for 7 months the last day of the season if he isn't playing on the last day of the season? Because we just bring him back before the playoffs completely harmlessly. So, yeah. And there you go. Let's see if he goes. Let's see who they put in the rotation. Probably Festa. Yeah, it's Festa. It's not a Rosani Contreras. We'll see how he does. Let's see how that affects us. He's going to be on the. It's not a 15-day injury, but he'll be on the injured list for 15 days. We sweep the Nationals. We sweep the Beltway series, take the first one from Cleveland. All right. 15 runs against Cleveland and it looks like Woodruff and Soto were injured. So uh-oh. Man down, man down. I mean Soto, 5 weeks. Will he be back in time for the playoffs? He's got almost a 5 ERA. Still has years left on his deal. I obviously don't dislike him. Chase McDermott, as we said before, probably the best arm in AAA. So we'll call him up as well. It's September. We've got an expanded roster. We still aren't down to having any pitchers that I really dislike. I think our pitching is still very strong. I just don't know if it's really equipped for the challenge that we have of actually trying to win this division anymore after the injuries we've taken just now. And let's see what this Woodruff injury is. And now Encarnacion Strand goes down as the injury crisis. We haven't even seen what this Woodruff injury is, and Christian Encarnacion Strand is down. I know we have bats in the minors to replace Strand, but that's a tough one. He's been excellent this year. Well, let's take a look at his stats just to make it hurt a little more, because I'm sure they're good. At 17 went 64 RBI and 67 starts. Right? Do you want any more evidence? I don't need to read any more of his stats. There's a lot of stats in this game. I don't need to read any more. Any more than that. 67 games started, 64 RBI. What more do you want? He might not walk enough. Keep hating. 333 on base. Whine about it. 871 OPS. You're going to tell me that's not good? 17 home runs. Man, if he was a lefty. So this is an interesting choice here. We just traded for Abimelec Ortiz. He came over in the Yenier Cano deal. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about that. Yes, we traded away Yenier Cano, which was tough to do. He has been sparkling for the Rangers. Are the Rangers back in the playoff race? They are. I think the Rangers, yeah, wow. Well, maybe they were in the playoff race, so they traded for Yenier Cano. But it was kind of a sell thing we had to do because we had so much pitching. We still have a lot of pitching, but we could use Yenier Cano right now after the injuries. And we got Emilio Teodeo, who's in AAA, and Dax Fulton, who we then moved on to the Athletics. Yeah, so that hurts right now. Yenier Cano's been very good, but we can make something good out of this deal if we bring up Abimelec Ortiz, who has some power, first baseman, 24 years old, and is on a major league deal. But in AAA, we also have Graham Pauley. And Graham Pauley plays a lot of positions. He can take some weight off the injury crisis by being such a utility guy. He's a good base runner, and I think he needs to come up to the major leagues. He's a lefty. Okay, I'm doing Graham Pauley instead. He's not on the 40. That's fine. Let's just cut somebody. I don't want Cade Povich. Go away. And Graham Pauley is going to go up to the major leagues. We claimed him on waivers way back in like episode 1, I remember, I think even. And now he's finally going to be back on the team. I think he was on the team for a brief moment. And now he's back on the bench, and hopefully he can give us some relief from this impending injury crisis. I am just sitting here dreading what it's about to tell me about Brandon Woodruff after what has happened to Christian Encarnacion Strand. Man down. Man down. Brandon Woodruff, 4 weeks. Okay, so he may come back during the playoffs. It's not some horrific career-ending, season-ending thing. It's his 3rd injury of the season. And now it's a very interesting question of which pitcher we bring up from the minor leagues. I really wish I had Yenier Cano. Eovaldi is back in 4 days, so that's the real thing. So we don't really need a long-term solution, thankfully. Daniel Lloyd is the best pitcher, but he's not on the 40. Let's just do Jack Leiter. He can also be on the playoff roster. He's eligible. Daniel Lloyd is probably the best pitcher in the minor league system right now, which is he doesn't have the best pitch mix, but a really good minor league repertoire. I feel like he might get hit if we bring him up, but I think he at least deserves a shot, Daniel Lloyd, one day. He's just not on the 40 right now. I like Ryan Castillo's arm as well, even though he struggles with control, and Kyle Brnovich isn't that good. We kind of do have a weak top end starting pitching development. I really like Cade Anderson as a prospect. He's done okay, and high A, which is a challenging place for someone to come straight out of the minors. Sack fruit also, if he ever figures out how to get the ball over the plate. But yeah, we are a little short on pitching prospects. Teodeo has a good arm as well. We're a little short on pitching prospects. We don't have that A1. Cameron Haynes, we spent our first round pick on last year, and he's been decent in the complex league. So, and here we go. Eovaldi's off the IL. We were struggling a little bit. We lose 2 or 3 to Houston, which was frustrating. We lose the first one to Toronto, and I was starting to get worried. But then we flipped the score on them. We went 12-4 loss to a 12-4 win, 8-0 win. And then we've taken care of the White Sox so far at home, which is, of course, to be expected. Grayson Rodriguez, it's so good after that. Sagano was our leader in strikeouts last season, I believe, at 130. Maybe it was Dave. Maybe it was Festa. No, maybe it was Grayson. Whatever. I just remember that. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Grayson Rodriguez actually, who was our strikeout leader last year. Maybe it was Tomoyuki Sagano. Let me check. It was Tomoyuki Sagano at 128 strikeouts. That was our strikeout leader last year. Grayson Rodriguez is about to break 200, and Dylan Cease not far behind at 166. It's just there's a lot of nice numbers here on this team leaders chart. To be honest, a lot of good numbers. Chase McDermott goes back to the minors to make room for Eovaldi, who returns with no need for a rehab assignment. We won a game out of first, so we decide to lose to the White Sox in a huge 3-game series here at Yankee Stadium. We take the first game 9-4, 4 RBI from Basallo out of the cleanup spot, his 21st home run. Rodriguez, did he hit his 21st home run? He did. No, he hit 2 home runs. He hit his 20th and his 21st. Rodriguez improves to 15-7 with a 6 strikeout performance. Heaney gets her out to the bat of the bullpen, but Festa and Fairbanks pick him up as we get to Garrett Cole with 7 runs, a slightly aging 36-year-old Garrett Cole. We put 7 runs on him. And they don't have the best bullpen in the world, the Yankees. It seems to me that we're battling. I mean, the Yankees clearly are a flawed team because they've kind of fallen off behind us. Kind of an interesting roster. They're just not quite as good as us or the Red Sox. I don't really know what else to say. Like, you got Volpe leading off. Goldschmidt's 39, and he's the cleanup hitter behind Judge. You got Mark Vientos, Bellinger, Peraza's a starter, which isn't that great. Fried's having a rough year. Chris Bubich is not that good of a starter, and he's, I think in real life he's doing pretty good actually, but he's just kind of average in this game and he isn't having a good year. Bueller is probably the best starter they actually have, and they've got him as the 4 guy. And Garrett Cole is currently the 5 starter. Edwin Diaz, they've got in there. Ryan Brazier is here. Miles Mikolas, it's Marcus Stroman. It's just kind of a weird group. It's just kind of a weird Yankee team. And the Red Sox, again, maybe the best team in the American League, but that trade was just not great. That trade, I wonder how the Mariners are in 2nd place. And I don't doubt that Tristan Casas has, he's only hitting 194. So the Red Sox are avoiding complete disaster. His numbers have been a little bit negatively affected by the change to that new run environment in Seattle, but it's still a dumb trade. It's still not a smart trade at all. Look at how many saves we have on this team between Bednar and Bautista. Bednar obviously didn't get all those saves with us. He's only got 1 save with us, matter of fact, but it looks cool. Having 24 saves there, and they're all right. Game 2 against the Yankees. It's Cease against Fried. Lots of money. And it's another 9-4 win. Back-to-back 9-4 wins. This team can hit. Mauricio with 2 hits jumps off the page. Kowser with 2 hits as well. Rutschman gets a hit. And Holiday with 4 RBI out of the leadoff spot. Justin Henry Malloy with a hit as well, getting some playing time. Dylan Cease only with 3 innings. Wonder why that is. Only 59 pitches. Jack Leiter. A lot of guys pitching in out of the bullpen. No pun intended. And we're going to try to take this series against the Yankees. Sweep it. No, we do take the series, but we drop game 3. It's a low-scoring game 3. Chris Bubich, who I was just talking crap about, comes out and puts us in his rear view. Steven Matz gets kind of a tough luck loss, only 2 runs in 4 2/3. in a low scoring pitchers duel that we come out on the short end of. We are still 2 games behind Boston, 6.5 up on the wild card. So I wonder when we are going to clinch an actual playoff spot. As I mean, we might not if we're just going to keep losing to the Twins. There we go. We win game 3. We lose the first 2. We get a shutout from Grayson Rodriguez in game 3. And it's a big series in Boston. It's a big series in Fenway. We might even watch one of these games. We might even manage one of these. If we're down 1 game, yeah. How many games are left in this season? About 10, exactly. And we've got oh no, we've got a series at home against Boston to end off the season. It's Jose Quintana against Dylan Cease. I like this matchup. And then we've got Eric Fetty with 13 losses to follow that up. Dylan Cease, we get an 8-5 win. We're now 2 games out of first place. Mauricio, another 2-hit performance. Holiday, 3 more hits. Miguel Vargas, 2 hits. And we survive. Dylan Cease and Jack Leiter both getting roughed up a little bit to secure an 8-5 win in Boston. Game 2, it's Steven Matz versus Eric Fetty, 2 veteran pitchers. And it's a 4-2 win for the Orioles. We're 1 game out of first place in the American League East. The Orioles got a big at-bat from designated hitter Samuel Basallo, 1 for 4 with a home run, a 2-run home run in the top of the first inning. And that's a 4-2 Orioles victory. Steven Matz, a gritty 5.2 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Fairbanks, Aiken, and Bautista with phenomenal work out of the bullpen, not surrendering. Well, Fairbanks gave up 1 hit, but that was it. Steven Matz with a player of the game. Kind of a boring game, but a win. A pedestrian win, but a very important win. And that's a big. This is the one we're gonna watch. Crochet versus Eovaldi. How you like that?
So my apologies if the audio sounded a little weird for the last however many minutes of the video there. I accidentally turned the gain up on the other channels of my preamp, and that caused a bunch of weird background noise on the audio, so I put a filter on it, so it's not going to sound as clear or crisp as the audio in the rest of the video, as the audio should sound now. We are going to play this very, very big game with the lead of the division on the line here. Nathan Eovaldi, there's going to be 2 crazy pitching matchups. This has the feel of every bit of a playoff series here between us and Boston. It's going to be Eovaldi versus Crochet and Rodriguez versus Houck. At least Crochet, Houck, and Rodriguez are all up there, at least in the Cy Young voting one must figure. Definitely present amongst the league leaders at this point. In the American League, you are going to see those names quite a bit. There's Crochet, 17 wins. Fetty from Boston leading in losses. That seems to always happen. Duran with 43 saves. I'm getting distracted. Crochet way up there. Rodriguez up there in ERA. Pitching war should be interesting. I expect you might see those guys appear there as well. But you are going to see some quality pitching in these next few games for sure. And let's start this game at Boston. I am going to sim some half innings here, some tired players, so I don't really want Basallo out for this game. We're going to put Vargas in for Yandy Diaz at first base, and he's going to hit above Basallo. I'm going to hit Basallo ninth for this game. He is a catcher. You can always just hit a catcher ninth. There's nothing wrong with that. The Yankees did that today in real life with Austin Wells, and he went like 3 for 3. Just bury your catcher ninth, piss him off a little bit, and get him hitting. He's also tired, so we're going to have him at DH. Rutschman's going to be catching. I'll put... man, Rutschman really does have some power this year. I'll put Vargas 8th. I'll put Cowser 7th. Okay, let's get it on. And we strike first in the top of the 4th with 1 run. And it's a solo home run off the bat of Kyle Tucker, 403 7D. I'm guessing that does mean to left field, so it's another opposite field bomb for Kyle Tucker, and we lead 1-0. Eovaldi starting the fifth inning here on 32 pitches. How you like that? And he blows the lead, of course, right as soon as I say something. It's a 2-run inning for Boston. Devers walks. So there's a leadoff walk. Romy Gonzalez strikes out. Big shock. Fielder's choice. They get Devers at second. Mikey Romero, but Rafaela hits a double. And I guess it would be Romero would score from first. And then Rizzo hits a double and scores Rafaela. And the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead in the top of the sixth. And we're going to have to. I actually am not going to go to the bullpen yet. I think I'll play that next half inning. We can't tie the game, but Eovaldi still on only 53 pitches. I don't really feel only 3 hits. Is there really a reason to go to the bullpen here? Line drive base hit, yes, there is. That's going to be probably a double. It is a leadoff double. So we're going to warm somebody up. I think it's going to be a triple. Are we going to gun him at third? We are. Wow, so he is out. He is out at third. And we get the first out. It's a little concerning, a little bit of a bad way to get the first out, but it's the first out for Eovaldi in the sixth, and he gets the second out. And Eovaldi to Welly or Abreu, and he's going to get through this inning. And he's probably still got a pretty good pitch count. Let's see if we can tie this thing up. It's Rutschman, O'Neill, Kauser, and nothing doing. Eovaldi's still on 65 pitches. I'm just watching him here. It's driven out to deep center. Kauser tracks it and hauls it in for the first out. The 2-2 pitch to Romy Gonzalez. Strike 3. Gonzalez has been an easy out so far. The 6th strikeout for Eovaldi. And there is a ground out to second base. And Eovaldi with 7 incredible innings here of only 3 hit baseball. And if he pitches like that in the playoffs, I will have very little to complain about. He has been incredibly efficient, to say the very least, as Vargas flies out to center field. Basallo lines out to short. Jackson Holiday on a 2-0 pitch. Can he drive one? No, he grounds back to catcher, but it's going to be a single. And Kyle Tucker on a 3-2 pitch drives one towards the gap, but it's run down. Out and right by Abreu. And the Red Sox still lead 2-1. In this huge game here at Fenway. Eovaldi coming out to pitch the 8th. And that's a base hit, so we're going to get up somebody in the bullpen as he surrenders a single to Ceddanne Rafaela, and David Bednar is going to get up in the bullpen. Is that his name? Is it Ceddanne? It is Ceddanne Rafaela. The 3-2 pitch from Eovaldi to Anthony Rizzo, who doubled in a run earlier, and that is a very quick double play. And Eovaldi just keeps being efficient. That ball's driven to right, and that's a home run. And why do I open my mouth? As soon as I swing his praises on an 0-2 pitch, Connor Wong puts one around the pesky pole, and that is brutal. You hate to see it, as we are going to take the ball from Nathan Eovaldi and bring in David Bednar, but the damage has already been done. We wanted to keep it at 1 run, and now we're going to have to get a base runner and hope for the big blow. As up comes the aforementioned Roman Anthony on a 1-0 pitch from Bednar. Out to center field, there is Kauser. And the Orioles have 1 more inning, 3 more outs to get back into this big divisional game. The 2-1 pitch, pumped out to center. That ball is gone. Gunnar Henderson, his 25th home run of the year, 408. I'm sure the center field in Boston is deeper than that in real life, but 408 out to center field here at Fenway Park. And we immediately get it back to 1 run. And Colby Mayo, maybe our best player all year, steps in and strikes out here against Garrett Whitlock on 31 pitches. A bit tired. Adley Rutschman. Ground ball to first base. And who is going to be our last hope here with 2 outs in the 9th? Tyler O'Neill here against Jose Leclerc. power pitcher with a very good fastball. Tyler O'Neill with the ability always to put one in the seats. The 3-2 pitch to O'Neill. Leclerc, a good strikeout pitcher. O'Neill known to chase, but he takes ball 4. And the go-ahead run comes to the plate. O'Neill has good speed. Now, Colton Cowser is a little more of an interesting player. He's hitting 273 with 25 home runs. We really are getting production from everybody. Again, no reason to get rid of Cowser then. 3-1 pitch. Can he get on base as well? He grounds it to third. Goes the short way to second, and the Boston Red Sox win 3-2. And our division hopes just took a big hit. Don't know if I'm going to watch this Houck game now. It's not actually going to be Grayson Rodriguez either. It's going to be Jared Koenig. So I don't think I am going to watch this game. It's pretty likely we're going to have a 3-game hole after this is done simulating. And we win. We win 4-3. That's a big win. I'm glad we didn't watch it. I might have messed it up. Basallo 3 for 4. So a big game for Sam Basallo again, who continues to be one of a. It's hard to pick an MVP on this team. So many players have played so well, but man, it really felt like we made a really good decision putting him back in the cleanup spot against righties there, making sure that he was being started. We definitely get to the Red Sox bullpen with hits and runs. Only one hit, but one hit against 4 different relievers. We get to Houck too, 6 strikeouts, but we managed to score off him. Koenig gives up 2 runs in the bullpen. Really does a phenomenal job limiting. I don't even know how many innings that is out of the bullpen, but Koenig only with 74 pitches. And then just tons of pitches out 12, 12, 23, 29 out of Heaney, and then 15 out of Bautista, who gets his 38th save. So a heroic effort there from the bullpen, and we squeeze one win out of this Red Sox series, and it's a crucial one. And now we face a tough Cleveland team and more tough pitching. It's Grayson Rodriguez versus Tanner Bybee. A great pitching matchup here in Baltimore. And it's an 11-3 win. A 2-for-2 performance from Kyle Tucker with 3 runs. Gotta love baseball. Colton Cowser with 4 RBI and O'Neill with 5. The 6 and the 7 hole in this game combining for 9 runs batted in. And just look at this starting lineup. Holiday, 25 home runs. Henderson, 25. Mayo, 34. Basallo, 22. Tucker, 25. O'Neill, 26. Cowser, 27. Rutschman, 20. That has to be some kind of record. How many times has that happened in MLB history that every single member of a lineup, it's just Yandy Diaz, and I'm sure we have some other guy. I want to see if we actually do have 9 players with 20 home runs. We actually might. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, unfortunately, it is only 8 players. Vargas has 8. But we have 8 players with over 20 home runs. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with over 25. That might be some kind of a record. Kyle Tucker, Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Tyler O'Neill, Colton Cowser, and Colby Mayo. All with over 25 home runs. In terms of RBI, Mayo, Henderson, Tucker, and O'Neill are all over 80. And Holiday, Basallo, and Cowser are all over 75. It's just this team, the guys that produce. This offense has a strong core and a big core. There's a lot of guys in the core of this offense. Holiday, Henderson, Mayo, Basallo, Tucker, O'Neill, Cowser, Rutschman, and equally, it's going to be hard to keep it together. We're just the Baltimore Orioles. We don't really have that much money to spend relative to a lot of other teams. We are tied with the Red Sox atop the division right now. They should not have given up Tristan Casas, man. They should not have given up Tristan Casas. This is not a scene. This is an arms race. This is not an AL East. This is an arms race, he said, pointing at the AL West because he went to Seattle. Baltimore. Yeah, this is not an AL East. This is an arms race. 93 and 65 for the Orioles and the Red Sox. And the Red Sox should have kept every bit of hitting they had to keep up with us because we can hit the lights out of the building. And it's Tanner Houck against Steven Matz, who has been really good for us. 12 starts to a 3.26 ERA as the lefty that we have finally found out of this rotation. But he's going to face Tanner Houck, who's been one of the better pitchers in the league this year. I don't think I'm going to watch this game. We're just going to sim it, but boy, is it a big one. And it's a 6-4 win. Let's read about this one. Steven Matz, kind of a rough start, but it's once again the bullpen. Bautista gives up a run, but he gets a hold actually, giving up a run. Stewart with the save. Heaney with a scoreless inning. Fairbanks, Aiken, and Contreras contributing. We get to Tanner Houck, and we get to Dylan Floro, and we get to Greg Weissert out of the bullpen, who has a 105 ERA. Seemed like pretty much a back and forth game. They go up 2-0, we tie it. They go up 3-2, we tie it. We take the lead 5-3. They get back to 5-4. We make it 6-4 and close it out. So a bit of a seesaw of a game, but we get the win. And again, it's production up and down the lineup. The only players without hits, the only player without a hit was Miguel Vargas, who left 5 on base. Pretty much everybody else showed up and showed out. And the bullpen meant 7 pitchers. And it's a 6-4 win, an impressive 6-4 win to the Orioles. And we clinch the division if we win this game. Jared Koenig versus Jose Quintana. Do we have a better pitcher we can put up there? It doesn't seem like it. I think it is going to be Jared Koenig. And obviously, if we win this one, we win it all. Well, we win it all. We win the AL East. We win the American League East if we win this game. And we're going to have to play one more if we don't. And we beat the Boston Red Sox. And the American League East belongs to the Baltimore Orioles. What a season. What a trade deadline. What a team. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this offense, but lately it's hard to tell what the base of it is because the pitching is good. The offense is good. Is this team built around the offense or is it built around the pitching? They're both really, really good. We have done a fantastic job taking care of business when we need to, and especially of beating the Boston Red Sox, and especially down the stretch. I am very, very happy as an Oriole, as a person playing OOTP as the Orioles, as a Yankee fan, as a YouTuber. I am very, very happy. I started my YouTube channel, and in my first Out of the Park baseball series, I'm beating the snot out of the Boston Red Sox and winning the American League East over them. This is what I started this YouTube channel for, to beat the Red Sox. I would love to see who is supposed to be our, who are we missing from this rotation right now? Oh, Brandon Woodruff. That's right. Brandon Woodruff. What happened to Brandon Woodruff? Is he back? He is back. Oh boy. And Brandon Woodruff back off the IL. Things you didn't expect. Ronzi Contreras is going to go down, and Brandon Woodruff. Oh, Contreras has to go on waivers. That sucks. I think Leiter can go down. I'm not really that committed to Leiter. There we go. Okay, good. We're going to have to send Contreras down after the playoffs, though, unfortunately. He's probably going to have to go on waivers. And there, yeah, now we have just an insane rotation. Rodriguez, Eovaldi, Cease, and Woodruff. Good luck. Good luck, everybody else. I don't really know who a better team in the American League right now would be, and there is nobody else better by record. We have home field advantage. All the way through to the World Series, unless we play the Dodgers. We're the second best team in the major leagues. After the Dodgers, we've taken over that role from the Yankees. The Red Sox gave it a good try. The Tigers, obviously impressive with that pitching in the AL Central, but the AL Central, actually, I was going to say it's a tough division. It's not. The tough division is the AL East. And instead of eating itself alive, it's 3 very, very good teams up at the top, and the Red Sox with a 6-game losing streak here to close out the season did not do their job of defending their turf there at the end of the year. And we're the team that's going to go to the playoffs with the home field advantage, at least all the way through the American League now. And we should be very, very proud of ourselves as we sim the final game of the season, which is another win, a 10-inning win. And Christian Encarnacion Strand can also come off the IL right as the playoffs start. Graham Pauley, the Graham Pauley experiment, he hit a sparkling 059 with a -68 OPS plus, so really great stuff there from Graham Pauley. We're going to give him a 55-year, $677 trillion extension with the deed to ownership for the entire state of Micronesia. Congratulations, Graham Pauley. You are the god of baseball. truly the American Shohei Ohtani, truly the 21st century Babe Ruth, Graham Pauley, everyone. The whole world is better for that performance, Graham. What a lovely, lovely month you sent with us. It will echo through the halls of Orioles history. All right, I'm gonna stop with the sarcasm, and we're not going to force start Christian Encarnacion strand at first base. There's no reason to do that. Happy with another win over Boston to end the season at 97 and 65. Brandon Woodruff with 2 innings in his comeback before he immediately gets hamstring soreness. That makes a lot of sense. That's very, very Brandon Woodruff. It doesn't influence his throwing at all, so he should be ready for the playoffs, which we will do in the next episode. That was a blast of an episode, man. We made so much progress, had such a great time, won the division, knocked off the Red Sox. Awesome trade deadline, awesome playoff race. Some technical issues, but we get through it, we get over it, and I'm drawing the big hearts on the screen with my cursor because I love you guys, and we're gonna come back for the American League. Yeah, definitely the division series. We ain't got to play no wild card round. We got home field advantage because we finished first in literally every offensive category. Bad other than batting average, which no one cares about anymore. Just the ones that matter. We only finished first in the ones that matter, and we also ended up second in starters ERA, fifth in bullpen ERA. Right now, I hate to say it, I hate to count my eggs before they hatch, but there isn't a better team in the American League right now. We have to be the odds-on favorite to take this thing home, at least in the AL. We're going to have one hell of a three-man rotation with two pretty great insurance options here in Woodruff and Matz, and a offense about as deep as an ocean. Offense about as deep as the Marianas Trench. Because, I mean, think about it. They've got Yandy Diaz here in the 9 hole, but who's actually going to be there in that DH hole? Strand, Miguel Vargas, Ronnie Mauricio? This team is stacked, man. If we would have had this roster before the season, we would have won over 100 games. I'm completely convinced of it. If you actually kept this team together for a whole season, it's making me want to play a third year, actually, regardless of how we do in the playoffs. But I'm I'm very excited to get this going, to get this playoffs going. So yeah, man, tune in for the next one. It's gonna be awesome. Love y'all.